Okay people, welcome to my little cockpit. I've been asked to kind of show you around it a little bit, so that's what we're going to do. Okay people, welcome to my little cockpit. I've been asked to kind of show you around it a little bit, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm sitting in the captain's seat of the cockpit. Obviously it's nowhere near finished, but this is just to give you a little idea of how it looks at the moment. From where I'm sitting quite a bit far back from my normal position to fly, so that I can get a better camera angle. To my side over here, still got this bloody thing in the cockpit, but hopefully we'll get rid of that soon. This Logitech TAC3 is my side stick, which falls quite nicely to hand when I'm sitting all the way into the cockpit. On my right hand side you can see I've got my touchscreen here. Turn that to the side there a little bit, which probably now means you're tilting your head, and you can see how it works. It's a nice little touch screen. Simulates the FMC, which I quite like, and it's very easy to use and feels good. It's not as tactile as using buttons and switches, but it falls nicely under the hand. This big gaping empty space here is where ultimately the radio panels will go. The radio management panel, audio controls for the radios themselves, and for Squawk Box and TeamSpeak and various other things like that. Coming over a little bit further, we've got obviously my throttles, Cytec pair of throttles, which works very nicely. I like the resistance when I'm using this 4-bar lever, even though most of the planes I'm flying are 2-engined. This gives a nice resistance under my hand, and I like the way it feels. This lever is for spoilers, and this lever is for flaps. Reverse the axis on that. Not using any of these switches at the moment. Not sure what they're going to be for in the future. Further to the rear, this is not currently wired in. As you can see, these would be the engine starter switches. This was connected at one stage when I had the older model pedestal that you might have seen in one of my videos, and it's very straightforward. These will be wired into my BU A320 card or some other adapter card in the future. Obviously this panel isn't finished either. It should have a rotary control there for the engine start and crank switch. That hasn't been put in yet. Not sure if there'll be anything to the rear of that. We'll have to wait and see. Another gaping hole on the other side where eventually there will be a mirror of what's on this side. Well, that will come in due course. Up in front of me here, again, nothing. This is where the eCam displays should go. I was using this monitor up here, turned on its side, and I found that when it is turned on its side, I can't see it when it's down here. It doesn't have the required viewing angle. You can only see it when you're looking straight at it. So I was a bit disappointed about that, but really that monitor as a 15-inch is too small anyway. So I'm just dumping my manuals and things there at the moment. Further over here I have my functioning landing gear lever. I'll climb out in a minute and show you how that works, but that is wired in and it is working. That's quite nice. Moving up, this along here is the glare shield. It's not a shelf to put my manuals on. It will be the glare shield, but it's obviously far from finished right now. And this is my flight control unit, which is almost all wired in. Don't think there's anything. The only thing that's not wired in on this at the moment is the second autopilot switch, because I've run out of inputs and I don't really need it anyway. I very rarely do an auto land, and I can always use the mouse to click that should I need to. These are regular rotary encoders which work rather nicely. They do have a push function on them, which is good, but they don't have a pull function. You can't pull them, and I've had really no success in finding a push-pull encoder. As you know, with an Airbus, you push it for managed mode and pull it for selected, and I can't do that. So I've installed these extra switches, just regular single pole toggle switches to simulate the pull of the switch, the pull of the rotary switch instead. They work. Sometimes they send some ghost inputs to the FMC down here. Don't really know why that is. I'm trying to figure that out. So once I've flicked that, you can see. Well, let me show you over here. This is, I have to keep this window open at the moment because, as you can see, I've got no displays. So I push the speed knob, you can see that it's become managed, and if I flick that toggle it becomes selected. Not sure if you're going to be able to see this very clearly. not really is the answer, but as I turn that, hopefully you can see that the speed is incrementing upwards. You might see it more easily down here on the primary flight display. Okay, so that works rather nicely. Similarly for the heading, it's currently managed, but if I flick it over to selected mode, well, it doesn't work while we're on the ground anyway because we haven't told it where we want to go and it knows we're not in the air. The altitude, same thing. This one is a little bit trickier. There's something wrong with the rotary, I think, I need to play around with. It's not responding as well as it should, or at all, as you can see there, but the theory is good. Ideally I'd like a dual rotary on that. I did buy one from the States, but it hasn't worked correctly. So in theory it works. It needs a little further work. From where I'm sitting, this monitor is all for my external view. It's tiny, it's not ideal, but it works. It's not a projector onto the wall, but it'll do for now. And then down here I keep my primary flight display, nav display, and my main systems display. Sorry, that's the engine warning display. I don't find it necessary to pop the system display up too often. And that's the current state of affairs, basically. I'm just going to jump out now and show you an overview of where the switches and things are connected to.